All right, just doing a quick overview review of Disc Golf Valley VR. We'll go through the screens first and then into the gameplay. Settings are basic. Player icon, feeder meters. You can hide the UI if you want. Disable the music, graphics quality. The only reason I keep it on low is because some of the maps, for some reason, some of the courses rather, don't seem like they're optimized real well. And you'll get a little bit of stutter as you go to throw, and it can mess up your throw. Hide the throw velocity angle assist. Basically, that is just some dots that kind of show you your acceleration, the release that you're releasing the disc. I hide that because it's just really not necessary. Your profile shows your level and everything else you see here. Discs acquired, longest drive, longest putt for some reason doesn't work. I don't know if that's because they just haven't entered into the programming what constitutes a putt, but for whatever reason it doesn't work. Aces, eagles, albatrosses. So let's go into the gameplay. It's a lot like the mobile version and the Steam PC version as far as the menu. So you've got your disc collection here. This is your bag. You have to purchase this slot here by buying the larger bag. You have to purchase the putter and mid-range slots, which I've been playing this long enough. I have a little over 60 hours in, so I've been playing this long enough where I've purchased all that. So that's everything in my bag up here on these two tabs. This is the discs that I own, but aren't currently bagging. And then your pro shop, where you can go in here and take the coins that you earn through tournaments and purchase new discs. Pretty standard from what I understand. I haven't played the mobile game very often. I just started playing this when the VR version came out. But from what I understand, a lot of that's pretty much the same. I'm going to skip down to practice, so you can do a practice round where you can choose which course. Here, starting hole, start the round. Target practice, putting practice. Any available tournaments will be listed here. You can see some of these I've already played. Big difference between the C tier, B tier, and then the A tiers. These A tiers can be pretty tough. As you can see, I only have one A tier under my belt so far. The C tiers, I'll go back and pretty much destroy because I do have the better discs now because I've purchased better discs. You start with very basic discs, but I've purchased enough discs that these are easily obtainable. These first place ribbons. And B tiers, fairly easy as well. Like I said, A tier is pretty tough. So that's your tournaments, and then your challenge the valley. You're just trying to get the most stars. As you can see, the courses get more difficult. So down to Crow's Nest, I have 3, and then starting here 2. I've gotten close, but without playing the game much on mobile, I feel like I don't really know a lot of the local routes that people use. So I'm sure some of these holes would be easy for a seasoned player, not as much for me. But then I'm just going to show you the physics and everything just by using one of the easier courses here. Let's go this one. So I take the battery out of my left controller because I'm right-handed. I only use the right controller, and I don't want that left controller constantly hanging from my wrist. And if I sit it down and the battery's in it, and it's too close to the Oculus Guardian, then that Guardian grid would be up the entire time. So I just take the battery out before starting the game, and then I don't have to worry about that left controller. So when you pull the trigger, that brings up the recommended disc for this hole. And then, as you can see, let's see if I can get it to show the controls. There you go. As you can see, up and down on the thumbstick is the next and previous disc. And then left and right, you can switch between backhand and forehand. Really nice the way they did that. So here's skipping through the discs. And then to throw, just nice, easy standstill. I'm going to show you a couple different throws. So just to show how there's kind of a throw assist, if I barely move my arm and just let go of the disc, it kind of shoots out of your hand. It doesn't take much strength, right? So I'm going to restart. Now, if I actually put a little throw, and this is one thing I really commend this game for, is the physics, because you obviously don't want to do like a run up X step full follow through in your little VR room and then crash into your computer or your wall, right? So it's just a nice smooth little follow through, maybe a little flick, and then the disc just goes. You've got the that was a horrible throw. You've got the nice little Jomez Pro. There we go. Follow flight line, and then once it lands, it'll say how far you went, and then you just hit the bottom thumb button here to move to your lie, and then it teleports you to where your disc was. Pulling out my putter now, and a nice little flick in. The sounds are great. I mean, the sound of the chains, the sound of the cage on the basket, the band that we all hate on the basket sounds great. The physics are great. You can go forehand and do a nice little, follow through forehand. And if you pull the trigger while it's still flying, it'll teleport you closer to the disc and you can watch it land. And then hit that thumb button to go to the lie and then putt it in. I like the putting physics a lot too. Like I said, the physics on this game, I just can't state it enough. They're just great. Because they're just the perfect mix between reality and video game. It doesn't really go too far either way. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to have to really crank it like you would in real life. At the same time, you don't want so much assist that it's, unrealistic and it just kind of shoots out of your hand. It's not a gun. You still need to be able to throw it a little bit. And then putting feels very natural. Obviously, it's a little bit of an assist there too. I putt much better in this game than I do in real life. But it's just a great game. A couple things that I don't care for that I think do need a little help. Let me get back to the next hole here. One big issue I have is, now you're not going to see it as much here because there's no water, but more times than not on a hole that has water, it's either not on the T sign at all, or it's very hard to see. And if it's blind, if there's a hill and you don't know that water's down there and you don't know that hole very well, you can easily throw a disc straight in the water just for the fact that you don't know it's there. And actually, even on one of the courses, the course that has the snow and the ice, that on that course, the T signs are blank. They haven't finished the T signs yet. Oh, the game stuttered. So that's my fault. I have a mid-grade PC, and I think that with everything I'm running right now, it just kind of stuttered a little bit when I was driving. And we'll go ahead and play it. It'll pitch up. Actually hit the top of the basket. And it's still rolling. There we go. But like I said, physics, great. Graphics are pretty much on par with the mobile game. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it's just the right amount of what you need. I mean, it's not blocky. It's smooth. There are some courses where there's rain and snow and things like that, and those all look great. And they're just the right amount of kind of cartoony and realistic. Oh, that's way too much hyzer on that. Get legs. Get legs. Did not get legs. And there is OB, like I said. But like I said, just a quick review. I know some people that play the mobile version of the game. They've been wondering, how the game is in VR, and this is it. And I, like I said, I obviously enjoy it because, like I said, I've got about 60 hours in right now, and it's only been out for I think just over a month, maybe. It's already the fourth most time I've had playing a game in all my VR games. So obviously I enjoy it. Being a disc golfer, it's great for when it's night or when it's raining and you just want to get that disc golf fix. And in VR, as far as VR disc golf games go, by far the best disc golf VR game. I mean, between the graphics, the physics, everything else that I talked about, nothing else comes even close. Just not even remotely close. And this is still the first version. There haven't been any updates yet. There haven't been any updates yet. I know he's working on it. From what I understand, it's a one-man development team. And so, he'll get around to it. I know it's hard when you're, understaffed that way. And I think what a lot of developers don't understand is the way the VR community is. They kind of, in knowing that VR is fairly small, still, the VR community really expects developers to be on top of their games. They expect updates. They expect to be answered in the forums when they're posting issues. And I know that there has been some issues with misaligned images, with sound, things like that discussed in the Steam discussion board, and the developer hasn't really addressed them. I think that he's hopefully going to learn pretty quick that you need to answer those questions. When people are concerned, people are looking at buying it, but then they go to this discussion board and it looks like the game's already been abandoned. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt sales bad. In VR, because it's such a small community, you really have to be active. But like I said, if you have any questions, just throw them in the comments. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know. And that's it. Have a good one.